Welcome to the Clarence-Rockland Guide. I'm Derrick Scott, chatting about local businesses and local business owners in and around Clarence-Rockland. We're joined now by Ben from Hidden Trails Farms. And the one thing, Ben, that I find unique is generally when it comes to farms and farming, it's generational, but not in your case. What's your background?
My background is certainly not agricultural, that's for sure. My background, I would say, is aviation, mainly military aviation, now civilian aviation. But yeah, I'm an aviation guy since I've basically been 18 years old, 17 years old.
Where are you from originally, Ben?
So I was born in Montreal on the island and lived in the suburb on the north shore of Montreal, basically. Lorraine, it's called, a small city in the suburbs. Never been a city guy nor a country guy, so always in the suburban, basically. Yeah.
So how do you go from that line of work into farming? Like, what a transition.
Yeah, we're still wondering what happened a little bit, actually. So we basically, yeah, it's very different. I'm still actually working in aviation a little bit. I'm doing consulting for a couple of companies. I guess with the event, if I can say it like that, there's an event that maybe made us change a little bit where our future was going is when we were in Yellowknife. I was a flight engineer in Yellowknife. We were there for just over 3 years, and we lived in a really, really small place. So in Yellowknife, the way it works, the city boundaries are very defined, and the rest is all unsettled Aboriginal land. So the city has to be piled up in that very small area. And everybody has a very small plot of land, about 2,000 square feet, in a trailer, you know, in a mobile home. That was very expensive. So I remember, wow, for that amount of money, anywhere in the east, we could have a farm probably, you know. Mm-hmm. And I was always very interested. I love the outdoor. I was always in the outdoors with the airplane flying around. I said to myself, when we move from here, I'd like to buy land, you know. And we love animals and stuff. So I said, you know, it would be nice to try chickens and goats and something like that, you know, to see if we like it.
So farming was always a dream, a passion, and hopefully a goal down the road for you.
Yes, I would say yes. It became a passion, a vision, I would say, more than a dream originally. For me, it was always inaccessible because I was not the kid of a farmer. But just like the military, I was not the kid or the son of a soldier either. But to me, farming was expensive. Buying land was millions of dollars. So I always kept it in the back of my mind as, what if maybe, if I see an opportunity to pair with someone. Then I start gaining information about farming in general, and realize that there's all kinds of types of farming. And not all kinds of type of farming requires a huge initial investment or requires you to produce thousands of pounds of meat every month. And it can be a much smaller scale. And on a much smaller scale, it can be first just as rewarding, and it can be actually as or even more profitable. And that aspect of the agriculture really, really started interesting me a lot.
So define your farm, as you had mentioned that there's different types of farms and farming. What makes Hidden Trails Farm so unique?
So Hidden Trails Farm, just under 10 acres, basically. Very small. By any standard, it's a very small farm. We can consider ourselves, I guess, an artisanal market type farm. That would be an average size for a market farm. What makes it very unique is that neither me or my wife have a clue on how to farm, basically, or how to do things. We basically learn everything from scratch. But literally, we didn't go to school in agriculture. We watched a few videos to give us ideas on YouTube, and then we put the iPad down and said, okay, let's go do it. We bought a few chickens at first, and then loved every bit of it, and loved mainly to see how people were interested by the simplest thing in agriculture. For example, when we had our chickens, there were only 7 at first. People were asking all kinds of questions, very, very simple, basic questions. Do they lay eggs? Do you need a rooster? How old are they going to be? Basic stuff that I realized that people were very interested in, and made me even more interested into pushing further. So that aspect made the farm very unique because Kelsey and I, we don't take ourselves very seriously, but we take our work very seriously though. And we learned a lot about agriculture and the type of agriculture we do. which is a small scale organic. And because we don't have a background and a preconception, if you want, like pre-made ideas of how to do things, we do things our own way. Sometimes it looks a bit foolish, and sometimes it doesn't work, but it certainly is very original. And when it works, it becomes popular. It becomes popular because it's unique. And the uniqueness, I guess, of the farm is what makes Hidden Trails Farm, I think.
I'm sure you do a lot of trial and error.
Yes, that's basically all we do. And farming is a bit like that. And furthermore, working with livestock, as we learn right now, is a lot like that. You need an unlimited amount of patience to work with livestock of any kind, even chickens. We try new styles we basically don't house our animals. They're all on either portable shelters or no shelters at all.
Okay, tell me more about portable shelters.
Yeah, portable shelters. So basically, and that's a very long subject. Don't want to take too much time on that, but some animals every animals like to be outside. The animals. So animals indoors in buildings, it's for mass production, which we don't need to do. So our animals are outside. The chickens we raise, they find they're a bit less stressed when they're in some kind of containment. They like to know that they're safe, basically in some enclosure. So to provide them with fresh grass, fresh flowers, bugs, and grubs every day, we basically build shelters that are basically just a roof and a cage around it with an electric wire that we move every day on a fresh piece of pasture, sometimes even multiple times a day. So then the hens, the chickens, they get fresh grass every day like that. And so they're fed naturally, they're in their environment. They're allowed to be chickens because that's what chickens do. They scratch the ground, they lay on their back, they bait. They have all the rooms to do it because they're not crowded. That's basically what we do. And for pigs, which we're just starting now, it's in the woods. So pigs, when they're little, they stay in an enclosure. When they're big enough to go in the forest, pigs are a forest animal to start with, so they're going to go in the woods, surrounded by an electrical wire, and a little roof, a tarp, basically super basic, in one area, and they're going to dig the ground everywhere, root with their nose, look for food, look for everything they can find, and everything that's smaller than basically 1.5 inches is going to disappear. So they're going to clean the forest for us. They're going to get very big and tasty that way, and we allow them to be pigs because pigs need to be pigs. They shouldn't be inside. And then when that area is clear, then we're going to move them to another patch. So a few days at a time, we're going to move them to a few sections of the forest on our farm, basically.
You have chickens, you have pigs. Are there rules as to how many chickens you're allowed to have, how many pigs? And
yes. So the rules, there's all kinds of rules, and rules are important for sure. I know small farmers like me usually complain about rules, but rules are there for a reason, so I don't want to complain about it. It's for food safety. Food safety is paramount. So originally 300 chickens for meat production per address is the rule. In Ontario, we're lucky enough, a very modern province for that area. The CFO of the Chicken Farmers of Ontario allowed some individuals to apply for an artisanal license, which we got this year, that would allow us to grow 3,000 meat chicken. So 10 times more, basically. So what we're working on doing right now is a way to be able to grow 3,000 chickens on fresh grass every day, which we probably won't be able to do. But for that, to fix that problem, we're going to lease land basically from our neighbors under our name, still under Hidden Trails Farm, but to be allowed to have more pasture to move our hands on.
So you're growing and expanding.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason for that is because we're constantly sold out. It's a good problem to have, but it's a problem that you can't have for too long. The way we work, our business model is from the farm to the door. And to the table eventually. So basically everything we grow is going to be on our website. It's under construction as we speak, but everything we grow that's in season is going to be posted on the website that looks like Amazon. It is just like Amazon. Basically, you choose the item, put it in your basket, and every 2 weeks delivered to your door, straight to your door.
And obviously farm fresh compared to
Absolutely.
Purchasing in the store.
Yep.
Really, when you think about it, and I think that's why a number of people have gone the organic way and purchasing through farms such as your farm and your business with so many chemicals and pesticides and what have you. in products in grocery stores, we don't really know what we're ingesting, but when we purchase eggs, for example, from Hidden Trails Farm, we know it's fresh.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And the best way to ensure that, and we allow people to do it, and even we encourage people to do it, is to come visit the farm. You can buy all our product on the farm, and it's still, I think, the best way to do it. Maybe not the most convenient because you have to drive out, but it's if you choose a nice day, you can come out and you can actually go pick the egg from right under the hen if you want, which will be still warm. There's nothing hidden there, you know, so still warm, and you can actually take it home and eat the freshest egg you never ate in your life.
And wouldn't that be a learning experience? As
Absolutely.
you mentioned, people are curious, people have questions. Not only moms and dads, grandfathers, grandmothers, but also kids.
Absolutely. I've yet to see a kid that is not absolutely fascinated, with animals, especially chickens. They're small. They're not too overwhelming for small kids. They run around all day long. It's very rare that people come on the farm and we don't talk for hours, honestly. People are very intrigued because everything is open, you know. It's not something you see every day. I had a work colleague that was from Holland that came to Canada, and he was expecting to see dairy cows everywhere because we're known to have so much milk in Canada. And then when he was driving in the country, he was, where are the cows, you know? So we're not used to see all that livestock and those animals outside. But when you come to our farm, especially in the summer and when the grass is growing, it's everywhere. It's not a zoo, it's contained and it's organized somewhat, but basically there's lots to see. There's lots of life, and it's pleasant to see flowers, fresh grass, animals that are happy, you know, and fresh air, no smell. That's what we like to do, and we want people to be able to see that, and they go home and they try the product, and then they're going to be connected to it.
And you can certainly taste the difference.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I warn everybody, when you try eggs especially, and the chicken, the staple products, first the look is different. The firmness, the color is so much richer. So much richer just because of the diversity of food that is giving to the hens. They are allowed to be chickens. They eat bugs, they eat grass, flowers, clover, everything. So it tastes much different. It's firmer. The shell is thicker. Each egg is different, so you know it's coming from the animals, from every different animal. So it's very, very good. Yeah.
You have chickens. You have pigs. What else do you have at Hidden Trails Farm?
So chickens, this year we're probably going to be neighboring the 600 to 1,000 broiler chickens, so for meat, poultry. About 50 turkey, which is the maximum legal we can do. 8 pigs this summer. A few million bees. We're going to have probably 10 hives on our farm and in the area, both for pollinizing our vegetables and everything, and then the neighboring. And for animals, I think that's it for this year. Yeah, we're going to be busy enough, I think. The focus this year for us is basically make enough products to be able to last for our delivery program as long as possible in the season, and produce very, very large amount of vegetables in our new greenhouse this summer.
For people that want to learn more about your products and your services at Hidden Trails Farm, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Ben?
Best way is Facebook for now, until the website is launched, and probably still after. So Hidden Trails Farm on Facebook. We post everything new and everything, every update basically on Facebook. And when the website to put the orders is going to be up, it's going to be actually informed, it's going to be updated on our Facebook page. Lots of pictures, events that we have. We're going to have an event at Easter for kids and stuff, painting the chicken coop. So everything is basically new products, events, and just fun pictures sometimes on the Facebook page.
Ben, thanks for being a part of the Clarence-Rockland Guide.
Thank you very much.